Story 1. My name's Lucas Reed. I'm 32, living in rural Nebraska. I took a temp job doing overnights at the Willow Creek Hotel, halfway between nowhere and even less. I'm not proud of what I did, but I needed the paycheck. I know this sounds crazy, but on my first shift, I found a sheet of paper in the back office titled Overnight Rules. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but I swear the edges had fresh coffee stains. I read it under the flicker of the desk lamp. Rule 1. Don't answer the phone between 2 and 3 a.m. Rule 2. If you smell cinnamon in hallway B, don't enter. Rule 3. If you hear someone calling your name, ignore it unless lights flicker. Rule 4. You may see people in rooms that aren't booked. Let them be. Rule 5. If the water runs red, lock the lobby and wait. I should have walked right out, but I stayed because rent. I know, right? I was alone behind the desk the first night. The lobby was too clean, teeth bright lights, humming AC. Mid-shift I got thirsty, wandered down hallway B to refill my water bottle. The lamp halfway down flickered, then snapped off. I froze, heart in my throat. I smelled cinnamon. Strong, weird in a hotel. I told myself it was air freshener, like the brochure said they used seasonal scents. But why just hallway B? And at 1:58 a.m., I stepped back, but the light came on. I shook it off, blamed my nerves. At 2:15, the phone rang. I hadn't eaten in hours, my head buzzing. I answered. Silence. Then a voice. Lucas. It sounded like me. My name. I swallowed hard. Hello? I whispered. Nothing. Hung up. I stared at the clock. 2:16. I paced, trying to break the dread. Maybe I'm remembering wrong, but I'm sure I heard someone humming. Old lullaby. Soft. Through the walls. I pressed my ear to the receiver. Nothing. Then, thump, upstairs. A drawer slamming. I thought of Rule 3. Ignore, unless lights flicker. And they didn't. So I stayed. A half hour later, I smelled the cinnamon again, this time in the lobby. I got freaked. I stood, swore to myself I'd just go home. But rent. I flipped the desk light off, walked into the hallway. No scent, no cinnamon. The carpet felt damp. I heard whisper. Lucas. I spun back. Dark lobby. I must have blacked out. I crouched, feeling the carpet. It was soaked in something warm. I pressed a finger. Dark red. Blood. I nearly puked. I slammed the light on. Rug soaked through. I gagged. I tried not to puke. I told myself it's red dye carpet cleaner. I wiped it. Hand shook. Heart pounding. I called the owner next morning. She said housekeeping cleaned a broken water pipe in hallway B. Maybe conditioner leaked? I accepted it, but I felt off. Next week, night 3, I'd been jittery, drinking way too much coffee. At 12:47 a.m., I saw a silhouette in the lobby mirror behind me. Tall, thin, obsidian shape. I turned. Nobody there. My own reflection flickered. I felt itchy, dizzy. On the desk, a scrap of paper. Rule 6. Do not inspect red water. But there wasn't Rule 6. I never saw that. I threw it away. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I didn't want to open my eyes. 2:59 a.m. I heard sobbing from room 212. No guest there, just dust and a peeling painting. The crying became sobbing, then laughter. I told myself to go help. After all, I'm human. I stepped to the door. The knob turned on its own. A handprint in blood smeared the whitewash. I panicked, grabbed the desk phone, dialed 911. But it rang and rang. No pickup. I shoved the receiver down. I ran to the lobby. Lights flickered, off, then on. Cinnamon smell. Then voice whispering, "Lucas." I felt pressure in my chest. I stumbled behind desk, and door to room 212 creaked open. Slow. Inside, I saw nothing. Just darkness. A puddle of crimson pooling under the door. My vision blurred. I heard a giggle, childlike. I backed off, turned, and ran out front door into the freezing cold. I saw no vehicles, nobody. I crouched on the concrete, shaking. They found me the next morning. Police, EMTs, someone called them. I don't know who. The lobby was trashed, blood smeared everywhere. Entire hall flooded red. Red water dripping from ceiling vents. Guest rooms soaked. No bodies, just echoes. They closed the hotel. Owner vanished. Housekeepers quit. Nobody's talking. They put it on the news. Mystery at Willow Creek. No motive, no victim. I watched it at my sister's house and couldn't stop shaking. I moved home. I still smoke too much. My sleep's wrecked. I keep nightmares. Cinnamon, crimson water, a little voice whispering my name. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong, but deep in my chest I know. I opened a door I never closed. I still smell cinnamon in dreams, and I can't turn off the voice calling me Lucas in the night. I quit. I didn't tell you everything else. The police said it was vandalism, mental breakdown, lawsuit, yada yada. But I know what I smelled. I know what I saw. And whatever did this, it's still out there, calling my name. And if I go back, I don't know if I'll come home again. Story 2. My name's Derek Thornton. I'm 27, from Central Ohio. I moved out here to North Dakota. Just me and my best friend, Mike. We took the overnight desk gig at the Frontier Lodge, a dusty old place next to Interstate 29. I know this sounds crazy, but they gave us a manual when we started, like it was some cult initiation. Rules: don't turn off the lobby TV after midnight. Rule 2: never enter room 13 under any circumstances. Rule 3: if a guest knocks after 2:30 a.m., don't answer. Rule 4: report any water stain above beds. Rule 5: if you see red in plumbing, lock both doors and wait for management. My heart sank the day I found them. They said, stick to it. No explanation. We looked at each other and shrugged. Just a job. It was my third shift. Mike was busted for leaving early, so I was alone. Fog rolled in outside. Headlights strobed the lobby windows. I binge-watched old westerns because rule number 1 haunted me. Don't turn off the lobby TV. When I arrived, it was tuned to a dusty station playing vintage trailers. I tried to switch channels at exactly 12 o'clock a.m. You know, curiosity got me. But static shrieked. I panicked, hit power. Nothing. The screen faded, went black again. I slammed the button. Office clock blinked 12:01. TV stayed off. I flicked lights. I knocked on the wood paneling. Nothing. I told myself, it's loose wiring. But now I couldn't sleep. Too loud in my head. At 1:45, I wandered into the back corridor. The ceiling lights were dim. They buzzed. I smelled chlorine. Weird. No pool. Maybe cleaning chemical. I passed room 13. I froze by the door. The knob jigged, like someone was turning it gently. No footsteps. Nothing else moved. The smell got stronger, sharp, clean. I backed away. Blood in my gut told me, don't. I dashed back to desk. Then the phone rang. I ignored the clock. It was 2:33 a.m. I'd broken Rule 3. But I answered, voice trembling. Frontier Lodge. Silence. Then breathing. Not mine. Deep. Slow. A low voice said, help me. My mouth felt dry. Which room? I whispered. No answer. Just breathing. Then, click. I stared at the phone until it blinked off. I should have hung up slower. I called Mike next morning, voice hoarse. Don't ever, he said, before I could out the details. Rules are rules. They emailed both of us later. Some corporate memo about procedures. No names. That night, I couldn't sleep, but I still went back. Shift 4. I tried to keep busy. Logged guest check-ins, stamped receipts, but politely ignoring room 13's air vent that hissed. Impossible. I caught my reflection in the shiny elevator doors. I looked broken. My shirt soaked in sweat. I rubbed my neck. The lobby TV flickered on its own. Cowboy trailer. Welcome to the frontier. It looped for a full minute. I stared. Pale eyes in the reflection behind me, twitching. I spun. No one. I gulped. Heart rat-a-tat. I stumbled back. Hit the lobby faucet. Water came out. Pink. I yelped. I jerked back. Pink water pooled. I shut it off. I wasn't sure if I puked or just stared into the sink until my knees hurt. Then there were 2 knocks. Quiet. Room 13. 3:02 a.m. My voice said, don't, before I could think. The knob turned. Trembling, I stood by desk. The TV suddenly changed channel, old game show theme. I could hear it, but couldn't see the screen flip. Both doors swung open. Lobby and room 13. Breeze, neither locked. My lights flickered twice, then stopped. Everything froze. From room 13, I heard rustle, then footsteps, soft, dragging, then a faint sob. My chest tightened. My gut said, run, but my feet felt like lead. I whispered, who's there? Silence. I stood so still, I swore someone would see me shaking. I blacked out. Honestly, I don't remember the next few seconds. I woke in the office chair, TV off, phone dead, lobby doors locked. I smelled copper, like blood. I felt wetness on my sleeve. I glanced down, damp. Not red, not pink, dark. I touched it, felt sticky. I snatched the rag and wiped. It looked brown. Coffee? Maybe. I rubbed harder. The rag stained red. My sleeve tinted. Heat burst in my face. I yanked off my shirt. My chest, 2 spots, round, like drops. I breathed shallow. I might have scratched myself, or the knob. I don't know. I shook off the shirt, balled it up. At sunrise, I bolted. No call from owner. The next shift guy showed up. Bland smile. He wiped desk, asked about coffee filter. I mumbled, said nothing. When I left, I passed room 13. Its door was sealed with tape, no number. I walked away. I went home, but guilt followed. I realized pink water could have been me bleeding. I keep pushing the memory. Was I the one coughing in room 13? Was I the voice on the phone? I still smell chlorine sometimes, especially when it rains. I get headaches from flickering lights. Sometimes at parties, I hit midnight and feel like they're watching. And every now and then, I swear I hear the TV turn on at full blast in my empty apartment. Game show theme, looping. I tell people it's tinnitus, but no one hears the words. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. A month later, I Googled Frontier Lodge. News nothing, but guest blog, heavy renovation after flooding. No details. I emailed the guy. He never replied. I called the number. Disconnected. I still haven't told police. What's my proof? A red stain? Flickers? Phone call? No bodies. But I know what I did. Or what happened to me in that lobby. Someone or something in room 13 is still locked in. Or maybe it locked me in. I carry the stain on my sleeve, like a scar. I carry the voice. Help me. And if I ever go back, the next knock might come at home. Story 3. My name's Calvin Hayes, 35, living just outside Boise, Idaho. I took a job working nights alone at the Meadowview Motel, a sleepy wooden structure near a long-forgotten highway. I know this sounds crazy, but when I started, they handed me a thin booklet titled Night Shift Mandates. Night Shift Mandates. Mandate 1. Don't walk the service corridor after 1 o'clock a.m. Mandate 2. If you hear typing from room 6, don't knock. Mandate 3. Any water leaks are reported, not investigated. Mandate 4. You don't check the crawl space. Mandate 5. If someone isn't registered, but uses room 6, don't intervene. They didn't smile when I asked why. I thought it was standard chain protocol. Rent's rent, right? It was my second week. I had no time for fear. Rent, bills, solitary life. At 12:58 a.m., I saw the corridor light blink. I was restocking towels and needed to pee, so I waited 2 minutes. I slipped into the service corridor anyway. No sounds, just dusty carpet, that sweet bleach smell of fresh towels. I heard something. For a second, the carpet squeaking behind me like someone walking. I froze. The corridor was empty. I laughed. Stupid, I said, turned and walked back. This at 2:13 a.m. I heard a keyboard clicking. Tap, tap. It echoed from downstairs near room 6. I thought it was a guest finishing a report. I went to the door. It rattled. My breath caught. The typing stopped. Room 6's light flickered inside the cracks. I told myself, maybe someone forgot to check out. I should have left, but I knocked. No answer. A single key press, soft. Enter. The door clicked locked. I stepped back. My phone vibrated. A text from Mike. You okay? I typed back, yeah, and stared at the door until it calmed me. Or I calmed it. Around 2:47 a.m., water dripped under the lobby sink. I heard it in the desk. I stood and listened. Drip, drip, drip. I grabbed a towel and followed it to a small puddle. I wiped it. I smelled something, not must, but iron-like. Maybe I'm remembering wrong. I cupped my hand. Water felt thick. I touched my tongue, metallic. I gagged and spat it. I called maintenance in the morning. They just blamed a tiny source pipe leak. Nothing serious, they said. At 3:05 a.m., the crawl space hatch behind the boiler room rattled. I swear I heard a whisper. Go look. I told myself, don't. I froze by the hatch, phone in hand. My thumb hit the flashlight. Light stabbed into darkness. Smell of old wood. Something clicked shut, heavy. I ran. Badge in pocket jingled. I slammed the hatch closed. Then a knock at 3:27 a.m. Room 6 again. Tap, tap. I stared through peephole. It was a young woman soaking wet, clothes clinging. No mouth, just dark eyes. She didn't move. I backed 2 steps. She tapped again, soft. Please. I should have shut the door, but I opened it. She slipped in without words. Inside, cold mist curled under her feet. No damp was in the hallway. Silence. I shut the door. Her eyes bore into mine. I smiled weakly, need, and she reached to touch my cheek. Her hand was cold, dripping brown-tinged water. I jerked back. She raised her hand. A drop fell. It splattered on the carpet. I looked. It was dark, dark red. I stumbled backwards, crashed into the desk. She didn't follow. She just stood. I coughed, tried to steady. She tilted her head. She whispered, but no sound came out. Then the lights flickered, once, twice. When they came back, she was gone. Puddle dried. I rushed to my car at sunrise. My shirt was damp. I tossed it. I didn't check water lines. I never saw maintenance. Owner still calls me reliable. I don't feel it. But at night, I dream of the typing. I feel the hiss of crawl space. I think of that metallic taste. I see her eyes in the mirror. I hear a knock, tap, tap, on my apartment door at 3 a.m. when I black out. I haven't slept. I've started self-medicating. Coffee, pills, booze. My chest hurts. I keep keys in my pocket for a reason I can't explain. My phone shows a missed call at 3:29 a.m. from unknown. No report, no bodies, just a stain, a whisper, a set of mandates I broke. I left. But did she? Does she come with me? I know it sounds crazy, but if you ever got that knock, maybe don't open it.